Hey travelers, Chris here with another review. We are in Stockholm, Sweden today. It is ice cold outside, so we're doing this intro in here. And today we're checking out the Hilton Stockholm. I can't wait to see how the hotel is. We're already here in the lounge. We're gonna show you, of course, the rooms, the lounge and all the other amenities. So let's go. Alright, so here we are, the Hilton Stockholm Slussen. I hope I pronounced that correctly. It's very central, you can see it here. It's right next to Gamla stan, the old town, and you can even see from some of the rooms and from the lounge a view over there. These two buildings are basically the hotel. You have this red building on the right side and this beige building on the left. And you also have this tunnel, including a railway going under the hotel, so it's quite a wild construction. Very interesting. You're also right next to the ocean. And as mentioned already, it is ice cold. We are there in January. It's absolutely freezing. So it's important that it's very nice inside and very warm. Overall, design-wise, you can see it here a little bit. The hotel definitely is on the older side. I'm not sure I like the design personally, but it is what it is. You have these white tiles, you have the wood. Definitely a bit outdated. You also have a reindeer in the in the lobby, which is interesting. We are there around Christmas, around New Year, so there's still some decoration happening. Overall, it's a fairly decent lobby. You also have two separate elevators, one for the building that houses the regular rooms that you can see here, and also one that houses the executive floors as well as the lounge. So to explain, with these two buildings, on the left side the beige building has the executive rooms and the lounge, on the right side you have the regular rooms. So then let's check out one of these executive rooms. We have the room 4096 right next to the lounge, so let's see what's happening there. Alright, so here we are in the room. We got a little upgrade. We started out with a standard room and got an upgrade to a king view with the room, I believe the name is called. So let me show you a bit around. You can already see that it has very striking wooden patterns. Definitely not the newest hotel, as you already saw, and also the rooms reflected a bit. But let me show you the entire room first. After you come in, you have a little bit of the dressing area, and then you're greeted, of course, with the very big bed. You have a little kind of I don't know what this is called, couch area, whatever. It helps you with the shoes. I love it. We're here in winter. We have to put on the boots, so being able to sit down is actually such a nice thing. I wish more hotel rooms actually had that. You also have standard coffee and tea. Here, the Nespresso pads. They give you actually quite a lot and a big machine, which is nice. And then I'm not familiar with the specific tea brand for those of you interested, but it looks quite decent. You then have, if we go further into the room on this side, a really big TV. Surprisingly, the TV looks much newer than the hotel and the hotel room itself, so that is great. They also give you some water, or at least it looks like this comes if you have diamond, gold and silver status. There were two, but we already drank one, and it comes in this, I guess, more environmentally friendly packaging. Then let's talk about the bed. A slight oddity, and I have to admit I've not seen that in a hotel in a long time. Even though this is I believe it's a true double bed, you get individual blankets. So for if you come here with two people, each of you get an individual blanket. Yeah, I've not seen that for a long time, but it's very interesting. You have a couple of power plugs and whatnot and controls for the lights. Keep in mind that everything is on a EU kind of style power plug. So again, if that's not your power plug, make sure to bring an adapter. Besides that, let's have a look at the view of the room. Now it's already nighttime, so I will overlay a little bit of what the view is. But I have to say, overall the windows are quite big. You only have these two, so behind there's nothing else. But this is quite a nice view, and because you're right next to the river or the sea, I think, you can see the water, you can see the old town. It's really beautiful. And you also have this quite comfy chair, so if you want, you can sit here and have a nice view towards the city. You also get a little bit of a table and this chair. I don't know if this is enough to do proper work on. It's not like a proper desk setup. I think it's quite okay. Again, many power plugs here and even an extra light to make it even nicer. So yeah, overall, I think it's quite decent. I do see the occasional wear and tear. To be honest, there's a few things that I'm not too crazy about, which for example is that you can see a bit under the bed. It looks not as nice. And also if we look at, for example, the wardrobe, maybe it's because I'm tall, but I'm pretty sure anyone can see that. Here you can kind of see that it looks a bit makeshift. It doesn't look like it's a really custom wardrobe for this room. And as mentioned, a couple of wear and tear things. So overall it's fine. It's good enough in my book, but certainly could be nicer. You also have, and this is a bit hard to show, but you of course have the wardrobe here, plenty of that. Lastly, one more thing, let's look into the bathroom. Now, this one is fairly compact. You have your sink, your toilet and your shower. I wish there was a walk-in shower. Instead you have this kind of bathtub combo. Unfortunately, with these kind of bathrooms, you don't get a view in the bathtub. But other than that, you have the standard refillable shampoo, shower gel and whatnot from Crabtree and Evelyn, which we can see in most Hiltons nowadays. You have the funkiest looking sink that is kind of shaped like a cone. Interesting. And other than that, not much to say about the bathroom. It's really compact. You can see already here there's not a lot of space when you sit on the toilet. They have this kind of towel heater, and when I saw that I was like, hell yeah, this is amazing, especially in December, it's cold here. Unfortunately, it's not working. I'm not sure if it's supposed to work or if it's mainly decoration, but it's not hot. But that's about it. Yeah, so overall, the rooms kind of reflect the hotels themselves. It is not the newest. It is definitely, it could use a little bit of an update, but other than that, it's definitely cozy. And what's quite important, I think, is since it is December and it's freezing outside and snowy, it stays very warm in here, so you don't have to worry. Even close to the window, they're very well insulated, so that's definitely a plus. So that's about it for the room. Let's check out the other amenities. And when I say other amenities, there are actually only two. Basically, we have the breakfast and we have the lounge. If we go down from the lobby into basically the basement, we have here the breakfast buffet. And one thing that was quite interesting to me is that there's a kind of exclusive executive area for people who live in the executive room, so stay there. You can see this kind of little stage, almost this white tile stage, where you get to sit when you are part of of an executive room. Definitely a bit odd to make it that separated in my book. But anyway, those are in a way the slightly better seats because you're sitting right next to big windows. So you have the chance to see, again, the old town. You can see outside, you can see the water, so that's quite nice. Fortunately, also the windows are quite well insulated, so it's not even cold, even sitting right next to these windows, so that's fantastic. One neat little thing I also liked is that you have these kind of beer taps that they turn around depending on whether the table is in use or not. When we talk about the food, of course, Sweden has some good pastries, and that's definitely for me one of the highlights. You have a quite extensive granola bar and in general a lot of sweet items in my book compared to the savory ones. Of course, you also have some sausages, cheese. There are fruits, albeit not the biggest selection. I don't think you would expect that in Sweden at least, as well as some hot dishes, including of course the beloved meatballs that you can have here for breakfast. Besides that, one highlight certainly is the waffle maker or the makers. There are two. You can see them here, and there's a liquid dough that you basically put into the waffle makers to make your own fresh waffles. I think that's a great idea. It is a bit tedious and it takes a couple of minutes. I think it's around 4 minutes for them to come out. So it takes a while, sometimes you have to queue up, but it's nice to get very fresh and hot waffles. Definitely a nice little benefit of this breakfast buffet. Besides that, of course, you also have an egg station where you can get omelets or eggs to your liking freshly made in front of you. So overall, I was quite happy with the breakfast. It is not of the highest quality, I would say, but at least on the sweet side it was very solid, especially the pastries were delicious. It was a bit lacking on the juice side and the coffee side, but food-wise, I think no complaints. It's a very standard, decent breakfast buffet in my book. Then, of course, we have to talk about the other amenity, the executive lounge. For us, conveniently, only around 10 meters away from our room. You go through this walkway and you can enter here with your card. And the lounge definitely is a highlight, as it looks fairly well decorated. You really get this cozy living room Scandinavian vibe. Lounge is open pretty much from the morning all the way to, I believe, around 8 p.m. and you can get at least soft drinks and coffee and water and tea at all times. And especially during these cold days, it was an absolute lifesaver to have something to quickly hop into and warm up a little bit. Also, pro tip, the best place, the most coveted place obviously in the lounge is here right next to this beautiful gas fireplace. It's absolutely serene, especially in winter. But also there's only 3 kind of seats around here, so you have to come early to get this space, especially for the happy hour. Indeed, this fireplace gives this lounge just an even cozier and comfortable feeling. We spent a lot of time there in the afternoon and it was not too difficult to find a seat, but don't bank on getting a seat in the evening when it's the happy hour because it's super contested. You can already see also you have this like slight couch sitting areas. There's also some books and also some games that you can play, and it's just fantastic to spend time there. You can easily just stay there and cozy up, and it's really beautiful. I also like that the view is again directly on towards the Old Town, in line with our room as well, and I think that just gives it another super beautiful vibe where you can see the Old Town, you can see the water out there. Absolutely nice. Now, one thing to highlight is that during the day, outside of the happy hour, it is very basic when it comes to the drinks. So you can see it here, you have the usual soft drinks. You have, I believe it's an alcohol-free or non-alcoholic beer, and then you have a water dispenser and a coffee machine, as well as some fruits over there, and also some Swedish, I think, cookies and some nuts. So overall, quite decent, I think. But more importantly, let's talk about the happy hour, and you can see here already it's from 5 to 7 p.m. and it gets quite crowded. We spent, I believe, every happy hour at the lounge and it was consistently very full. The happy hour, you get some alcoholic beverages, you have some more juices, you have some beers and wine, and you also get some mostly cold snacks. There was one hot soup every day and it changed every day, but mainly you have these wraps, you have cheese and bread, and to be honest, for me that's perfectly fine. I love the cheese. It was really very nice type of blue cheese, for example. If you're not into that, I also understand. And of course, with the alcohol in Sweden being very expensive, having access to some local beers, for example, can really save you some money, and I think that makes the lounge overall also such a nice place to come and spend the evening, or at least the 2 hours there. So then, can I recommend the Hilton Stockholm? And while we're watching some drone shots, let me kind of conclude here. I think overall the hotel definitely is quite outdated, although the price at around $130 per night at the time is also fair. The building is well insulated, so in winter that's not an issue. The breakfast is kind of standard, nothing to write home about, but it's fine. The lounge definitely is the highlight there. It's modern, it has pretty decent food and drinks, and it's super cozy. One thing I have to say that I did not like as much was the room. It definitely felt outdated, especially with these wood applications. It's just such a, I don't know, a couple decades old design in my book. Also, the wear and tear and kind of the construction quality was not super high, so you can see it here a little bit. It did not feel like they did a very good job in renovating these rooms or building these rooms to begin with. You can even see it, for example, at the shower head that looked a bit shoddy and the water came out a bit funky. The other letdown in my book was that they don't give water every day, even to, let's say, Diamond members, where it should be just a standard thing in most hotels. So overall, don't expect too much from the Hilton. I believe with the lounge it's still worth it to spend some time there. The location is great. Just know what to expect when you're booking it. So that's it from my side, guys. If you have stayed at the Hilton Stockholm, let me know. I would be really interested in hearing your thoughts. And then this is it from my side for now. So see you in the next one. Cheers.